Welcome, welcome, welcome to another exciting episode of the story of. Welcome to an exciting episode of the story of. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a process. Doing live shows is not as easy as what we would think, but we are here and we are continuing the story of Manny Lagunes. Where we last left off, we were kind of talking about, what it was like being an illegal immigrant crossing the border, and we talked about his life growing up between the ages of 3 and 9. And so now we're kind of continuing that story. Mandy, first of all, thank you for being back here again and continuing to tell us your story of what you've gone through with inside of the trials and tribulations leading up to you being deported back to Mexico. I can't wait to get through your story, get through my story, and then start to delving into a lot of other people's different stories. Because, like I said, I think everybody has a story to tell. So, just kind of looking at an overview on certain things that deal with culture and ethnicity. Tell me, what is it like to be a Mexican? What are the struggles, trials, and tribulations? I know for me, as a black man, we have struggles being black people, whether it's a black woman or a black man. What are your struggles as a Mexican? What are your trials and tribulations? Very interesting. So let me ask you because that's what your thoughts are from your experiences as being Mexican. But I want to delve also now into what other people think because a lot of people, especially dealing with this story, a lot of people inside the United States get upset and they want to complain about Mexicans stealing jobs and coming over here as illegal immigrants. You were brought over as a baby. So it's a lot different. I mean, I guess your parents would be the ones that people would be upset at, but they had to do what they had to do, to give you a better life and everything. So, what are your thoughts on people that kind of have that negative outside on Mexicans, illegal immigrants, and Mexicans stealing American-made jobs? Well, delve deeper on that. Why do you say that that's racist? What comes to mind is that why that's a problem? I'm not going to India, but keep going. Yes. So let me build just a different scenario. I'm not one of those people, but I know that certain people might view this and then they have their own opinion how strong they are. So I just want to make sure that your point is comes across as being understood. But they may not say Mexicans, but they may say illegal immigrants. They may not say illegal immigrants, and they may say foreigners. At some point, that covers that whole array of people. And if in my eyes, I don't have a problem with it because it's no different if you did whatever a legitimate way to come across to the United States and got a job, then that's the way you did. What's the difference is that you came over illegally and people have a problem with that. So to me, I don't see a difference because the big problem I have is not that. A big problem I have is that we as America just need to create more jobs and we need to pay people more and we need to treat people better. We need to open up more businesses instead of looking to shut them down and make things difficult for people to have a business or to run a business and for work to be obtained at a reasonable living wage. So like I said, people probably more or less have the problem with it being foreigners, so you do fall in that category. So I guess specifically, whether you said there could be different races, Honduras, Brazilian, whatever, but you do fall in that category of foreigners. So for those that do have that problem, what do you think of those? And does it still stand as that same kind of outlook? And considering knowing that you fall inside that category, do you really feel like you're somebody that's taking that job away from other Americans? Yeah, but that was a job that was here in America. So another American, I guess this is their complaint. Like I said, I don't agree. I'm not siding with them, but I'm just trying to create some type of devil's advocate to try and get that answer. So it is still an American job. You still worked it, and so I guess their problem is that another American could have worked that job. Not enough. Not enough dollars. That's what it is. Well, then that becomes the other stereotype too, is that Americans aren't willing to do those grimy jobs, those hardworking jobs that Mexican uh, people or Mexican Americans are willing to do. And at the end of the day, like I understand what they're saying. Like if I was somebody that was here and like 100 jobs were taken up by illegal foreigners, I'm like, man, I really want to get in that industry. Not everybody knows Manny to give Manny a call to try and get that job. I can see why they would be upset. They want to have that job. But at the end of the day, if there was no illegal foreigners that came over and just other people got that job, people are still going to be mad. So at the end of the day, they're going to be mad regardless. But I like I said, I have a different outlook. I don't really, it doesn't matter to me. But to the people watching, I know that some people will be like, I watch this, but I don't agree with this. Give them a better understanding on why you feel the way you feel. Is it, and even if it is down inside of your heart that you realize that you are taking that kind of job and you want to make light of that, explain to the American people that maybe it's just the guidelines that you had to do what you had to do to survive, the struggle, the fact that you were brought over as a baby. I mean, you have no choice. What are you not supposed to work growing up after being brought here? So shed light to those that may be viewers that had that outlook. Now, let me shift gears here and tell me what it's like. Uh, if there's any kind of story that just hits your mind, what is it like being an undocumented um, Mexican resident here inside of the United States? What was life like? Was it difficult? What kinds of things made it difficult? The funny thing is, I just can't imagine because I come from a different life where I was very fortunate and had, parents that are still to this day together, married and everything, very successful jobs and everything else. And it's still rough for me currently inside of my older age of youth. It's rough for me. So I can't even imagine from that aspect where you had those kind of trials and tribulations after being brought here. So the question I have is, were you ever told like, hey, you can't really say that you're, once you got that mindset, were you told or molded to kind of keep it a secret, being undocumented? And that's the thing that, in closing, that's the thing I appreciate about this show. I'm a black man, Mexican man, and you have lived a life from the race that you have been, from the position of that you were placed in. We all have a story to tell. We all have been different places. Most might look at me as a black man and assume, oh, okay, well, his story might be that it's been to jail, but that's not my story. When we get to my season of my story, you'll learn more about me, and then we're learning more about you. It just gives you a chance, instead of judging a book by its cover, to kind of see people and see what they've all been through. A lot of people walk around, they smile, hey, how's your day? The normal responses, I was going good, how about yours? And when in actuality you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what they've been through. And just up to this point of a young age, just looking at the things that you had to endure, people that have a negative outlook on people that have crossed the border, people, the struggles and trials and tribulations trying to obtain a job and be able to do stuff as an undocumented, um, you know, resident here, or, foreigner here. Uh, I can see all the different things, and I can't wait to get to a point where we kind of delve into when shit really started to hit the fan, and then like you were processed to be deported back to Mexico. So I just want to thank you here, Manny, for being here as a guest. Anything that you want to say in closing before we close out the show? Yes, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week on episode 4 of the story of Manny Lagunes.